There we are. Once again, hello everybody. I'm just going to make sure that I can see myself on my other computer. So bear with me a moment whilst I sign on to the virtual village hall and just make sure that everything is working smoothly. Just going to kill a little bit of time as I wait for everybody else to join us and tune in. Hopefully everybody is signed up to notifications and gets notified when these videos go live. I'm not seeing it on my own just yet. Strange. Oh, Irene, hello. Already here, welcome. Good to see you tuning in again. Yeah, anybody else that is joining us today, just say hello. Say hello, say how you doing, say where you are. I've just been informed there was a storm up north yesterday, which I was completely unaware of. But it is very windy here today. In fact, I've had to shove a notepad into the door of my room to stop it from rattling because it has just been going like crazy. I can't close the windows, I got to leave the windows open. I need that fresh air, so just gonna have to, when the doors rattle, there's no stopping it. But yeah, for today's meditation, I thought, well, we don't want that going on in the background, so I have shoved a notepad in. But otherwise, let me know how the weather is wherever you are. Let me know where you are. It's always nice to see where people are tuning in from. Oh, there we go. Now I can actually see myself, which is always useful. Oh, Irene, you're on YouTube. Amazing. I always forget that we actually live stream on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So I was trying to find your comment on Facebook and wasn't finding it, but obviously not. So how are we doing today? How is everyone? Obviously, Irene, we are very familiar with yourself. We know that you often tune into these live streams, but if anybody else is tuning in, let us know your sort of previous experience of meditation, what it is that you've done in the past, whether you've tuned in to any of these live streams or gone onto the virtual village or database of all the past videos, as all the lives stay on the Facebook page, and obviously on the YouTube as well, as far as I'm aware. So today we're going to be doing a chakra meditation, mainly because I realize we have not done one on here for a little while, and also just because the other day I found myself doing one for myself, which I hadn't done for a while actually, and it was lovely. It was very, very enjoyable, very much what was needed. And so today's meditation will be going through each of the chakras, tuning into the corresponding location of where they are in the body, and then just really the whole practice is about connecting. It's about connecting, and the best way to connect is to feel. So as I guide your awareness through your body, you're going to be feeling that area of your body, and whilst feeling, tuning into the experience in that area of you, looking to become more aware of possibly more subtle sensations in those areas of the body. Now, if you're unfamiliar with chakras, I'll give you a quick crash course. Now, the chakras, they're a bit of a I guess you could say, a science in themselves, in terms of that, there's whole books on the subjects, and even then, maybe that whole book isn't enough. You might need to read a few. Um, so, a crash course in the chakras. In this sort of more Western world, when I say the mind, we tend to think of the brain. They've kind of become a little bit synonymous. I say your mind, and the sort of, you would almost symbolize that or represent that with an image of the brain, right? Well, the idea of the chakras is more that you have multiple minds, more than one mind. So, whereas we've kind of seen only the brain as the mind, which actually is only the thinking mind, the chakras is a way of looking at other centers of the body that are also responsible for processing information. So if you think of the mind as um, as a center for processing information, then we can find several minds through the body. So we have the thinking mind, we have the throat mind, sort of to do with self-expression and freedom. We have the heart mind. Obviously we all know the sort of idea of the listening to your heart, of speaking from your heart, of trusting your heart. So that the heart is a center in itself. We have the solar plexus center, which is, it's sort of where the diaphragm is, right beneath the rib cage, and this is the center of our power, our willpower, our strength and confidence. A little bit lower than that, just below the belly button, we have the center for processing pleasure. So that's all forms of pleasure, just maybe enjoyment, satisfaction, but also more intimate pleasure as well. And then beneath that, we have the center of our very root, our very baseline functions, in terms of just sort of survivability, are very much our connection to our life. So one way to sort of look at the chakras is that they are like areas along the tree. So you've got the roots down at the bottom, which is all about kind of holding the ground and embedding and supporting and the foundation. And then as you go up the tree, you find sort of higher purposes, higher functions, until you've got all the leaves and the twigs and all the more purposeful energies of the leaves of the trees, but of the functions of the human body. So I hope that made sense. Really trying to give you a bit of a crash course in chakras there. But the idea is that with this meditation, we'll be connecting to these different centers of ourselves, these different energies, and just learning to listen to other parts of ourselves. Now, the reason that we want to do this is because, I guess maybe through conditioning or school or just the way that we function here in this part of the world, because we've become so sort of thinking minded. The problem with this is that this thinking mind is a problem solver. It's only really meant to be applied to finding solutions for something. And so if you're using this all the time to navigate your experience, navigate your reality, if you're using something that is only meant for solving problems, then everything you're applying it to is a problem. So if you're looking at your life, or what should I do today, or what do I want to do, you're not listening to a feeling, you're listening to a problem that's trying to be solved. And so if everything's always a problem, that's exhausting. And if we can listen to our heart, listen to our gut, the heart, it knows by feeling. It doesn't require words. It doesn't require a structure or a sentence or reasoning. It's just the heart knows, the heart feels. And then there's intuition, which is a whole other energy in itself, a much more feminine power, a feminine power that everybody has. But the more connected to our intuition we are, the more powerful it is, and the more we're able to pick up on the information, the messages that it's trying to send us. So sometimes, whatever the situation may be in your life that you're trying to navigate, sometimes you're just looking at it from the wrong center. Sometimes it's about listening to the heart, listening to the gut. And if you're not used to navigating your life in this way, then you need to spend time connecting to these parts of yourself. The more you sit and tune in and pay attention and listen, the more, just like with any other language, you start to understand. For myself, I was someone that I was definitely a thinking mind person. I was very academic and, brain-minded, shall we say. And so it took me a long time to listen to my heart. And at first, I didn't understand it. It would beat harder and beat faster, and I would think something, and then it would respond, and it would sort of tell me something different. And it was confusing to learn this new language. But you listen enough, and it starts to make sense. And this is something I sort of think about most days now, because it's so much easier to live your life from your heart, to just kind of trust in life and trust in yourself, to just feel things and know that your feeling is the message itself. It doesn't need to be thought about. It doesn't need to be intellectualized or reasoned with. It's just, no, that is an information and energy that I'm picking up on, and I will listen to it. Right, I think we have everybody tuning in that's going to be tuning in. So for the meditation today, I'm going to try and keep it a little bit shorter than normal, because normally this chakra meditation, because there's a few chakras, it can take a little bit of time. With, I think it's about 7 chakras that we have. If you use that specific framework, 7 chakras. If you're spending 3 or 4 minutes on each chakra, then you're sitting meditating for quite a while. So normally this is quite a long meditation, but I'm going to try and keep it a little bit snappier than normal, just for those of you who might be new to practicing for the first time. I don't want you to struggle as you begin your meditation journey or meditation practice. So we'll do a time that is a bit more comfortable to sit for. So the trick with sitting is to have your knees lower than your hips. You can tilt your pelvis forwards. This sets the base of your spine, so you can then lengthen through the spine, roll your shoulder blades backwards, and then that should be the body as it needs to be, perfectly supported for a meditation practice. So whether you're crossing your legs sitting on the floor, whether you're sitting on a chair, it doesn't matter what you're doing with your legs, just so long as you are sitting, because then the spine is engaged, and that means the feminine and the masculine energies of the body can work together, in that you are relaxed but alert, relaxing and at ease, but also focused at the same time. So I will ask you to come into your sitting positions. Sitting comfortably, tilting the pelvis forwards, lengthening through the spine, rolling the shoulder blades backwards, and closing your eyes. Just taking a moment to settle as you start to gather your focus, your concentration, as you bring it to your breath. Easy breathing, normal breaths. Tuning into your body, tuning into your breath as it is. not thinking about it, not analyzing or wishing it was otherwise. Simply tuning into your immediate experience exactly as it is. Feeling without thinking. Noticing where you're breathing into and where you're breathing from. How does your breath feel? Is it deep, shallow, slow, or short? Feel your breath as it moves through your body. And as you tune in, as you settle, softening your body, your shoulders, softening your jaw. No thoughts need thinking about, and there is nowhere else to be. Taking control of your breath, breathing in deeper. Deep belly breaths in and out through the nose. With every breath in, following the breath deeper inside of your body. Breathing deep all the way down into the base of your spine. Coming to the root of your body, Mula Bandha, your pelvic floor muscles. As you bring your awareness, your attention into this area of your body, rest your awareness here. Be aware that this part of you exists and be present to how it feels. What experience, what sensations can be found here? This is the Muladhara chakra, the root chakra. The color, the light of this center is a beautiful crimson red, like a morning sunrise catching on clouds. This center, this energy, is the resting place of your stability, your survival. Your most baseline functions, the roots of your existence. From here, our awareness draws up inside of our body, coming a little higher up the spine, just below the belly button. Tune in to this area of your physical existence. Connect to whatever feeling may be present in this space. The light of this center, as your awareness rises, the light changes to a beautiful orange. just like the sun rising higher in the sky. The colors on the clouds changing. This gorgeous orange can be found here. This is the resting space of your energy of pleasure, your desire for variety. This chakra, known as Svadhisthana, is the center of your sexuality. Breathe into this space. Connect to this energy, to this part of you. But the sun continues to rise higher in the sky as our attention moves up the body and reaches the center of Manipura, just below the rib cage, the diaphragm, the center of our spine. The light of this center is a majestic yellow of a midday sun, powerful and bright. This center, it is the space of your power, your willpower, the center of your strength, of your confidence. Breathe into this part of you. Bring it energy. Revitalize this part of your being. Allow yourself to feel. Our attention rising inside the body as we come into our heart center, the lungs, the chest, a powerful center. As we come to Anahata chakra, here we find the emerald green grass beneath that midday sun. Green as far as the eye can see, shining in the light. And here in your heart space, Anahata, there is only love and pure joy. Connect to this feeling. Strengthen this feeling. Bring energy into your heart. Allow your love to grow. Allow your joy to expand through all of you. we continue moving up our body as we come into the throat, Vishuddhi chakra. From here, beyond those fields of grass, we find the ocean. Here, we see the beautiful blue, again glistening in the light. The energy of this space, of your throat center. This is the seat of communication, expression, creativity. This is where you find your freedom and speak your truth. Feel this physical part of you. It exists. Energize it, strengthen it. All you need to do is feel. Our focus continues higher up the body, higher in the frequency of energy, as we arrive to our third eye, center of the forehead between the eyebrows, Ajna chakra. As we dive deeper into the ocean, the blue becomes darker and darker. As we move into a space where space doesn't exist, beyond boundaries, to somewhere that is limitless and all around. Here in the Ajna chakra, in the third eye, this is where we find our imagination, but most importantly, where we find our purpose for doing, for being. All of us know what our purpose is. And so when we forget, sit here in Ajna, your third eye chakra, and let it remind you. And then we come to the final chakra, the crown of the head, above and beyond, Sahasrara chakra, the crown chakra. And here, the light in this space, the light in this center, is the light behind all other. It is the light that is the combination of every other color. It is the light that allows you to see these colors. It is a powerful, blinding, golden light. And here, this is the seat of our awareness, our connection to ourselves, and our connection to the world, to everything, to each other. And so sometimes it's possible to feel disconnected. All we need to do is bring energy to this center, Sahasrara, the crown chakra. And again, just feel, connect, bring energy and awareness into this space. To come out of the meditation, take 5 deep belly breaths that really brings your attention back into your heart space. The center chakra, the center, most balanced place to reside in ourselves as we move forwards, working from our hearts, living from our hearts. And so when you're ready, opening your eyes, coming back into the room. Lovely. So, thank you all very much. That was a nice, quick chakra meditation. There is a longer one that you'll find on the Virtual Village Hall in their videos, as well as on my own YouTube. But for now, that is it for this month. So thank you all very much for joining in. Just a little reminder, all my meditations, everything that I teach about meditation, you can actually find in a book that I wrote on Amazon. You don't want to know how to meditate by me. So if you're interested in reading more about meditation or practicing them in your own time, that's one place to find them. But otherwise, I'll be back again next month on the Virtual Village Hall. And thank you, everyone. Take care.